Hello and welcome to whoever happened to stumble upon this video or come back to my channel. Hi, my name is Dana and I'm very happy to have you here today. So today I'm going to be making a DIY embroidered canvas. I've been seeing these all over TikTok. I'm sure you have as well. I will insert a couple of photos if you are not sure what I am talking about, but that is what we're going to be doing today. And now that I know that I'm going back to school in the fall, I can make these to hang up in my room and also my room home because I'm getting kind of tired of looking at my same canvases every day. These boys, they're old and I'm kind of sick of them. Alright, so we have ventured down into the basement to pick out a canvas and hopefully find some painter's tape because I have no idea where we keep painter's tape. So I'm thinking we got two sizes. We have 10 by 10, little square, and then a, what are you, 11 by 14. I'm thinking we go for the 11 by 14. Okay, so we picked out our canvas. I was not successful in finding painter's tape, so I will have to wait for my dad to come home. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to draw out on a piece of paper the design that I want to embroider. I will show you. You literally can't see, but it's just a plain piece of paper, the regular printer paper. I'm going to put it in the middle and draw out what the design I want, so then later I can punch it to embroider. I'm thinking of doing some sort of hand, either like this or like this, but we will see. So I just finished my drawing. I'll put in the time lapse, and I've changed my plan a little bit. So I decided I'm gonna keep my canvas vertical instead of horizontal. And I was gonna do what I saw some videos do, where they painter's tape it and paint one side and embroider it two colors, but I think I might just paint the whole canvas one solid color. I have to figure out what color I want that to be so I can figure out what color I want the string to be. And also I came up with a really cool idea to do, so just wait and we'll see how that comes along. I'm not telling, it's gonna be a surprise, but it's gonna look really cool, and I have to figure out what colors I wanna do my canvas and my embroidery. All right, so I have decided on my color palette. I'm going to paint it this really light yellow color. Oop. And then when I embroider the hand, I'm doing this like burnt orange brown color. And then for my surprise, which we're getting to, which I will show you when we get there. I'm not saying what the surprise is because I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work. But I have a light yellow and then these pretty burgundy and light purple colors. So I'm going to paint it all the light yellow and get back to you. Alright, so it's all painted yellow, and now I'm going to wait for it to dry and go eat lunch. Okay, so the canvas is dry. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an embroidery needle. I have two sizes. I have small ones and big ones. So I think I'm going to start out with like a smaller one. And you have to go through and punch the holes along your design of where you want your threads to go. And I got this embroidery kit from Amazon, so I can link it down below. That's also where the thread I'm using is from that same kit. You can also use any sort of like bracelet making thread as embroidery thread, so any of those. And I will show you what I mean about punching the holes in a moment, so I try not to drop needles everywhere. So I picked one that's this size, not huge, but not the teeniest one. And you go through, see if I can show you without setting up my other camera. And along your design, you punch holes where you want to thread your needle. And so I'm gonna do all that, and then I'll come back and show you. All right, my phone keeps falling out of my tripod, but I'm going to go punch all of the holes, and then I will show you some embroidering after that. so I just finished poking all of the holes through, and I tried my best to keep them like equally distance apart, which they definitely aren't, but I think once it's all stitched it should still look okay. And I don't think I said this before, and I don't know if this is like self-explanatory, so I'll just say it. When you're punching, make sure you're punching all the way through the canvas, because the whole point is to leave you like a guideline of where you're going to stitch when you are stitching your embroidery. So I am going to start doing that now, and I'll show you how you do that, which is pretty simple since we already have our guide. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is thread my needle, which can be really challenging, especially with embroidery thread because it's like 6 threads. So this might take some time. Okay, just kidding, I got that pretty quick. And I'm gonna cut this so I'm not working with this giant piece of thread, even though I know I'm gonna need more. Just gonna be a lot of work to keep putting it through. And then I'm going to knot off the end, double knot it so that it doesn't pull through when I'm doing my knots. It doesn't get undone. Right, so I double knotted this guy, and you can still see the holes, so I'm going to move you in. I had to look to see where it was, but I'm going to pull this all the way through, and my double knot will stop that from coming out. So now I'm going to go into the next one. You see there, all the holes are already here because I did them already, and I'm just going to pull through, making the first stitch. And I believe this is called back stitching. So I just went down through this hole. So I'm going to come up through the one after it and then go back down in the one before. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to take the canvas, and this is probably at a weird angle, but I have to look under it to see where the holes are. So I'm going to come up. Oh shit, I literally missed it. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to come up through the hole after. You're going to pull your string through, and you're going to go back down in the one right before it. So this still gives you that cohesive look where all your stitches come together and they're in a nice line, but you're not going to accidentally rip out your stitches. So that is how I would recommend stitching this if you're gonna try it on your own. Hello guys, I thought I would stop in with a little update. It has been about an hour and a half, and I would say it's probably about halfway done. I feel like that looks really funny. It's just like a little, but here's where we are. It's going well. I haven't really had any like technical difficulties, except I've had some knotted string in the back, so I've had some problems with my string or I've had to cut them, but for the most part it's going along pretty well and quickly. So I will finish up the other half, which I think will probably take me about another hour and a half, and then I will show you the special surprise I plan on doing, which I'm actually just going to say what it is now. So I was thinking, since this is embroidery thread, which is the same that you use to make bracelets, and it's a hand, I was going to try and do 2 like friendship bracelets across the bottom. I thought that would be really, really cute. So my plan was to take one of the big needles, and I'll show you this when we get there, and punch a whole bigger hole through and pull like 3 strings and then braid like a friendship bracelet across, and then punch it through the other side so it's just sitting across the canvas. And I thought that would be really cool. So I'm gonna finish up the other half of the hand and then we will get to that. Okay, so after 3 hours I did the embroidery of the hand. So I'm gonna do the bracelet, and I plan on doing 2. So I'm gonna do the first one off camera so I can kind of see if it actually works, and then I'll show you guys the other one. And just some things about this is I used a brand new thing of thread, and it took the entire thing. So if you're doing a canvas about the same size, like I showed in the beginning, this was an 11 by 14 and a design of about this size, then I would have a new thing of string and probably two just in case, because you don't want to run out. But I'm gonna try and do a bracelet, and then I will come back and show you guys the second one. So I'm happy to report that it worked, and it has a cute little bracelet now. So I'm going to do a second one and show you guys how I did it. All right, so here, as you can see, this is how this one came out. It is a little braided bracelet, and I left it a little loose to make it more realistic. And I think it came out really cute, so I'm gonna do another one. But I think for this one, I'm gonna do like this style of friendship bracelet where you actually knot it. So what I did, I'm gonna do the same thing with this one, is I took a bigger needle, just really fat, and you just stab it right through the canvas, which you have to do this kind of forcefully for it to go through. You see it makes a really big hole. It's probably shaking my camera so much because I'm doing this on my desk. But I'm gonna take my thread, and I'm gonna thread it through the needle, and this is a really big embroidery needle, which is why this worked. Because if you were to try to do this with like a sewing needle, it would not be big enough for all of these threads to fit through. And even so, it's still a little tricky, but way easier than if you were using a sewing needle. Well, it would not be possible if you were using a sewing needle. All right, so now that I have them all threaded, I'm gonna flip the canvas over, and you'll see the hole in the back. So I'm just gonna stick this through, pull my thread through like you would any other. And then I'm just gonna tie it off in the back, and you can make your bracelet. So I just knotted it off so it's not gonna come through, and I only knotted it once because it's 4 threads thick. I'm going to knot it like you would a regular friendship bracelet, which I didn't do on the other one. So I'm not sure how this is gonna go, and it's definitely gonna be more time consuming than a braid, but I feel like it will really tie the whole piece together. And if you don't know how to make a friendship bracelet, quick tutorial. So you're just gonna make a figure 4 over your thread and tie a knot. I'm gonna do these lightly because I don't want to like rip through my canvas where my hole is. And do 2, move along to your next thread. And this is how you make a friendship bracelet. 1, 2 knots onto your next color. And then you just start back at your first thread again. So I'm not going to show me doing this whole thing because it's probably going to take me maybe like 20 or 30 minutes to make the length that I want. So I want it to go all the way to over here so I can poke it through, and I will show you guys how I did that, but it's pretty much the same as I did on the other side. All right, so here is the second bracelet done, and as you can see, I actually didn't cut the strings long enough, so I'm not going to be able to make it the entire length. I just need to leave a little bit left so I can put it through and tie it. So if you are recreating this, cut your strings longer than I did. I just used the same length as the braid, which as someone who's made many a friendship bracelet, I should have known that that would be too short. But to finish it off, I'm just gonna stab a hole like I did before. So right there, and then put these through the needle, thread them through, which might be challenging for this little straggler. Definitely could have gone without that row, but hindsight is 20/20. Okay, so now that that's in, I'm just gonna put it through and hope that I keep all of my threads. Okay, so we lost these guys, but worst comes to worst, I can just cut them. And now I'm just gonna pull it through as much as I can, making sure that it's not twisted, which it is. So I don't really want the bracelet to be twisted. Okay, so now that I got that, I'm just gonna flip it over and try try my best to tie this into a knot, which I think I actually left myself enough string to do, which is good. And then I'm just gonna cut off these guys that did not make it. That means that this is done. So I'm going to pull you out so you can see the whole thing. And there it is in all its glory. I'm just gonna sign it and then that'll be it. Okay, so now that my canvas is all done, I'll insert some pictures, but I really love how it came out. I think it was a really cute design and I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna give you guys some final thoughts. So I think this project is totally doable. I've only ever embroidered one other thing before, but honestly embroidering a canvas, especially having it like pre-punched out, was really simple, and I would recommend this to anyone, even people who have never embroidered before. I think it's totally doable. The project in total probably took me about 6 hours, and that's including like painting it, waiting for it to dry, and all of that. The embroidery itself really took me only a couple of hours, and then adding the bracelets was definitely a little bit longer because you had to make those as well. So if you're doing any other design that doesn't involve adding the bracelets, it would be quicker. And this was a decent sized canvas, but I really recommend this to anybody. You can do this with your own designs that you draw out from hand like I did. You can also get designs off of the internet. If you're doing that, I wouldn't recommend selling the art because you don't want to be using other people's images, even if you're reworking them to sell them. That's kind of not really cool to the original artist, but they're definitely cool to do. I think this is a really fun idea. I made a TikTok of mine, so check out my TikTok. I will put my handle here, so check that out if you're interested in seeing my TikTok. Let me know what other videos you want me to do, if there are any other art, I don't know if we'd call it a hack, if there are any other art videos or art techniques that you see that you would like me to test out. I could totally do that because I had a lot of fun doing this one. I post new videos every Sunday and Wednesday, so stay tuned for those. Like this video if you like this video. Comment down below what you'd like to see from me next, any other art videos you'd like to see from me, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I'll see you in the next one.